My first guest tonight's an Emmy award-winning comedian who stars on the reality series My Life on the D-List. And you can see her at the WAMU Theater at Madison Square Garden, February 19th through the 22nd. Please welcome Kathy Griffin. It's very nice. Yes, stripper music. Yeah.
Well, it reminds me of the last time I saw you, which was on a Broadway theater.
Yes.
And the very fun, although rather ill-fated, Rosie Live.
Yeah, Rosie O'Donnell had an experiment, which is to try a live kind of variety show.
Right.
And she called a few people and said, would you help me out? And so I think we showed up. We didn't know what to expect. And you were there backstage.
I was there, and it was the weirdest backstage I've ever been in, but it was fun. But if you remember, it wasn't like a fancy TV studio like this. They don't have that kind of cash. But they did have...
Yeah, this is top-notch.
It's very fancy around here.
This is an old car wash.
I saw that one guy in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So they had one dressing room just for the guys, and I wish I had taken a picture of the door.
It was a strange collection of us.
It was a coterie.
Because none of us really went with each other.
So it was you, Alec Baldwin, Harry Connick Jr.
Yes.
Dreamboat, am I right?
You're telling me.
I know, exactly. And then the last one was Clay Aiken.
Yes, Clay Aiken was there, and I had never met Clay Aiken before. I don't know.
That's weird.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that one time, yeah. But now, okay, let me ask you about Clay Aiken, because I had heard that there's kind of bad blood between you and Clay Aiken.
Yes.
You show up at this event, he's there.
Right.
How did you deal with that?
Well, I thought he was hateful. Now, look, and I say that in a very loving, pro-gay way. Clay's actually been very good to me over the years. I've made fun of him and sort of implied in my act, which I didn't know for a fact until recently, but I implied I thought he might be a homosexual.
Yeah.
And
then he finally came out of the closet.
That's right. And Cover People magazine with the baby, awesome picture.
The most shocking headline ever.
I couldn't believe it.
Yes, I'm gay.
Get the feather and knock me over.
Right.
And so, sure enough, I saw Rosie a couple days ahead of time, and she said, now, you know, when you see Clay, be nice and apologize. And I said, well, I don't do that, but I will be happy to...
Like, I like how you can quickly just dismiss that whole concept. That's not happening. Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to start with Clay Aiken. That's all I'm saying. But anyway, I'm not going to start now.
Yeah.
But I do think he's a really great singer, and I have his CDs and stuff. And so I thought it'd be funny. I planned a bit that I thought was very funny in my own head. And I was going to go into the men's dressing room where Clay's kind of posse had taken over. I don't know.
He did have an entourage. None of us had an entourage, but
You did not have a bodyguard.
No.
He had a gigantic bodyguard. And he had relatives and relatives to relatives that maybe were married. I don't know. I'm not a doctor or a theologian. But I thought it'd be funny to go in with my iPod, a la John Cusack and Say Anything. Yeah. Blasting one of Clay's songs on my knees and beg him to take me back.
Right.
As a lover. It's really a forbidden love with me and Clay, like the Thornbirds. There's something in between us. But anyway, I put his music on the top of my head, and then Gloria Estefan, who I don't even really know that well, kept saying about my Clay Aiken bit. She was like, I wouldn't do it. Don't do it. I said, I think I can handle Clay Aiken, Gloria Estefan.
And you call her Gloria Estefan.
Well,
That's
she's
what I
pretty
like.
famous.
Yeah,
she's pretty famous. And so I went in there blaring the Clay song to Clay on my knees, really trying to sell it. And he didn't laugh once, and it was horrible. And then the bodyguard at one point just turned to me and just said, I don't like her face. And then...
Isn't that nice?
No, it was a disaster.
Now,
and then
okay,
I didn't have an exit strategy. Like, that's what Colin Powell was talking about all those years. You need to have
you
an
need
exit.
to go into a room like that and know how you're getting out.
I did not. I didn't think about it.
But you know what? So much of your act is slamming celebrities. This must happen to you a lot, where you run into people or you encounter people who are very angry with you.
Right.
Tell us about that. Like, who have you run into?
The best was when I had Whitney Houston wave her cracky finger at me. Well, here's the thing. Tell me if I've gone too far.
No.
Okay.
I'll let you know when you go too far.
She doesn't like to be called Cracky McGee, even as a joke.
I see.
So that was, you know what? That was a bad call on my part.
Yes.
Okay. I did not have what I call room awareness.
Yeah.
Also, Renee Zellweger didn't think it was funny to be called a sweaty, puffy coke whore. You know how you call your friends nicknames?
Yes,
you know, hey, what's up, sweaty, puffy coke whore, like that?
Just a way, if you forget their name,
like
you know where to go.
Like an endearment or a greeting, that sort of thing. Yes. So she didn't care for that. Although she did a very great stealth thing where she sent me this beautiful bouquet of flowers, and she wrote, "Warmest wishes, Renee Zellweger," which is to me scarier than Whitney, like, doing this stuff. You know what I mean?
Because that way, it's
It's like an old school mafia move.
yeah. It's sort of creepy and scary, like,
Right.
oh, congratulations, or
Don't smell these flowers too close.
Exactly, yeah.
Exactly. I'm sure they're laced with something. But yeah, I do never learn those. My problem.
Now, this is exciting. 4 nights at Madison Square Garden. This has got to be a dream. Legends have performed at Madison Square Garden.
But more importantly than that, it's where Oprah did her New York show.
Oh, is it really? Okay.
Yeah. By the way, are you living Oprah's best life?
I don't even know what that is, to be honest with you.
I don't even. You might die tomorrow.
Yeah.
Look, Oprah has the best life, and it's a plan for all of us, and we need to live by it. She picked our president. We can act like we voted, and we can act like it was an election. But
It was pretty much Oprah saying, it's this guy right here. And we were all like, okay.
Of course.
Yeah.
And she's the picker, like Bush was the decider, and she's just the picker. And I'm fine with that. I think she should pick everything. I think she and her husband, Gail, have done such a great job bringing this country together. This is a very pro-Prop 8 moment. You want to get on board with this. It'll be good for your audience.
I'm going to think about it first, but yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
So, yes, I'll be at the Garden where Oprah was there, and I'll be in the hallowed ground of Oprah.
Very nice.
I know,
That's
I'm excited.
exciting. Well, Kathy's going to be at the WAMU Theater, Madison Square Garden, February 19th through the 22nd.
Yes.
Kathy, thanks so much
Please
for
come
making
see
time
me.
for us. Yes, I will. Kathy Griffin,
Thank
everybody.
you.
We'll take a break. We'll come back. Paula Dean's here. Stick around.